We'll begin our first part of the video with our frames from Butternut Hollow. These are 2 frames and 1 bookplate. I'm also going to use the brand new IOD mold for mushrooms and fungi. Dust your mold with a little bit of cornstarch and go ahead and press your air dry clay into that. And then go ahead and set those aside so that we can adhere them to our canvas. Using a little bit of Titebond, I go ahead and glue those onto the canvas, kind of scooch them around so that you have a solid adhering on that. Once those are fully adhered to the canvas, you can set it aside and mix up a little bit of Milkpaint. I'm using Amy Howard, which is just Milkpaint and a little bit of water, and I prefer to mix it on a plate so that I get out all of the little clumpy bits and it's nice and smooth. It's also a fantastic paint for intentional cracking, which makes this project look a little bit older. And I'm just covering the entire inside of the canvas portion as well as the top of the mushrooms. I will do a couple of layers, allowing it to dry in between. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and paint the outer part of my canvas with a basic black chalk paint. And I'm also going to paint the little frame that's going to sit around this entire little project in the black paint as well. Go ahead and let that dry. Next, we're going to use Amy Howard's Antiquing Glaze and a sea sponge to create a nice antiquing effect on our milk painted surface. Go ahead and let it kind of ooze in and around your entire molded area so that it creates a great antiquing effect. I like to let this dry completely, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of liquid patinas that I created, and I'm going to let them kind of ooze into all the little cracks and details of the mushroom. I'm going to do this with the first gray layer, super soft, let it dry. I'll come back in and hit areas like the folds and the little creases on the underside of the mushroom cap. Do a little bit of splatter just because it's fun. And then I'm going to also come in with another color that's almost like terracotta color, so it's a really pretty lower earth color. Once the patina is dry, I go ahead and give it a spritz with a product called Spectrafix Spray Fixative. It's a great indoor spray fixative that you can use to seal these soft layers of patina. I let that dry, and then I went ahead and applied a basic top coat of a matte top coat. Once that's dry, we're going to go ahead and use Titebond to glue the first black frame onto our canvas. We will have another one layered on top in just a bit. You can clean your edges with a little bit of water as well. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of white chalk paint to my book plate, dry it, add a second coat, and then apply a layer of top coat. The top coat's going to be very handy for when we go ahead and apply an image transfer, which is from the Brocante IOD transfer collection. And I'm just snipping out a little bit of the text. It doesn't necessarily mean fungi or mushroom, but it looks really cute, so it works. After I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and burnish that on, antique my edges a little bit, and move on to the next step. I'm a big fan of Perfectly Imperfect, so I did go ahead and distress the entire canvas and all of the frames so that they look slightly aged. Next, I'm going to use WoodUBend Posh Chalk using the gorgeous orange gold. And this is basically Posh Chalk powder with their infusor. Stir it together really well, and you can go ahead and lay down a nice layer of that super opaque gold paint on the frame. I'm also going to go ahead and hit the sides of my book plate so the two pieces tie together nicely. Once those are dry, I can use Titebond to glue down that second layer of frame. It gives a really nice double-decker effect. And then go ahead and glue down your book plate as well. I like to measure on each side to make sure that it's centered properly. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the entire piece by laying a coat of top coat on the entire black frame portion as well as over the top of my book plate, since I used an IOD transfer on that. And there you have it. You have a wonderfully modern sort of scientific study of the mushrooms, and everything looks nice and old, but at the same time, new. Hope you enjoyed the whole molded mushrooms, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for joining me.